May 12th, 2023. This is the O2B EWB 5-speed manual out of my EuroVan with a TDI motor. It's had a 5th gear failure, and I don't know if it was the input shaft splines that stripped or it was the actual gear teeth itself on the 5th gear set. I'm going to go with the input shaft splines, which are right here, having let loose, but it could be the gears too. At least it sounded like the splines, because when I had the actual gear set go out a few years back, only about a month after I'd finished the van, it sounded like a spaceship when you would shift into 5th gear and let out of the clutch. This sounded a lot more like, it sort of sounded like woo, 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 like this reverberation, and this didn't really sound like much. But actually, before I pull this cover, oh, there goes a bolt. Unedited. Oh, it's already dripping. Great. I want to demonstrate this noise. This is just in neutral. That's definitely emanating from this cover, I believe. So I don't know where it's actually coming from, but when I let this bolt loose a little more, it's definitely going to start gushing. So there it goes. Yep. I guess I did do a pretty good job draining this, fortunately, so it's not going to make a big mess, but it's definitely, I definitely have rags under here because it's not my first rodeo with this cover. I hate that it's not my first rodeo with this cover. This is actually a really nice transmission. It's pretty strong. You can see this big beefy final drive. That's not something you get on the sedan boxes, and fluid's going on the floor. So let me, improvise stand and get some rags to clear that up. And here we go. I'll get to see my raw reaction to if I need to put this new input shaft that I have sitting on the bench with me, if that needs to go in. Oh, gasket wants to stick. Okay. Cover is off. There's 5th gear. Yeah, so I'm seeing the gears look intact, so it looks like I'm gonna be right in my assumptions of the actual splines being stripped. Let's spin it around. Yeah, it sounds pretty bad. There's also a little bit of axial play here, just a touch. That might be acceptable though, but there's a little bit of axial play on that input. Now, we're gonna just go through and check the gears. Let me reposition the camera. Sorry for the loud noise. Yeah, see, these gears are perfect, but you can see how they're not completely meshed. I bet you if I push this back, yeah, there's definitely a bit of... So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this and I'm gonna spin the input shaft. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, it has to be in 5th gear for this experiment to work, so... I wonder if I can do it. Can I shift it into 5th right here? I guess I have to shift it from the actual tower. We'll shift the thing. Let's see. So if I take my vice grips, I think 5th is going to be pulling up all the way on this tower and shifting it. Yeah, there's 5th gear. Okay, now I'm going to spin the input shaft. Oh, it popped out of 5th. That's probably a result of, oh no, it was in. It just went in all the way. Okay. Yeah, so that's not good. See how that bolt is spinning? And you can see that fluid jiggling there. Yeah, that's pretty surefire. Yeah, that's the input shaft splines. Whoopsies. Uh-oh. Oh, now I can't get it into 5th again because I have to pull up on it, but you get the idea. So I'm sure that actual gear is messed up too, even though, I mean, this happened on the highway, obviously. Not obviously, but you can see it. 5th gear. That's spinning. And the input shaft spinning, but if I grab the input shaft, yeah, that's 100% coming from there. If I put some load on it, see if I can, no, those are chewed up. So yeah, that's gonna be a new 5th gear set. I believe this is a .068, or 658 rather, set that I put in last. And the actual gears themselves are actually in amazing shape. It's just that those darn splines. And I will admit that the splines were showing signs of wear on the input shaft when I put this this gear in. So that's part 1 of 5th gear discovery. This poor thing. I wonder how many rebuilds I'll have to do on this thing in its remaining lifetime. You can see the case is disgusting. It's all this paint that the previous rebuilder put on there, and I think he did a good job with it, depending on who you ask, but it's needed a lot. So that's it for now, and I'll do a follow-up to this where I pull this off and look at the splines.